Oh, good afternoon. Welcome to Casual Boots for League Link to the Past Randomizer Invitational. We're already on Season 5. This is the first round of playoffs. We've got the perfect unadulterated gaming squad, Pugs, versus Team Hime on the right, represented, of course, by Kermit, and, of course, Pugs represented by Dante. This is the evergreen mode of Rando. Everybody loves boots. Everybody loves sword. Everybody loves even more if we combine the boots and sword together. Right now, we can see on the scoreboard that Pug's team has a 2-0 lead over Team Hime. And in order to keep the series alive, Kermit is going to do everything in his power to try and eke out a game 4. Otherwise, we're looking at a clean sweep for Pugs. I'm going to move on to the next round of playoffs. I am Claire Mouse, joined here by, of course, team member of Pugs, Ari, tracking for us, of course, Nervin Deutsch, amazing guy all around for both comms and tracking. Ari, are you ready to go?
I am ready, and I'm 100% unbiased. I'm just looking here for a great race between two long-standing members of the community.
Actually, yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, Kermit and Dante have been around for quite some time, actually.
I was shocked to find out today that Kermit has been playing Rando longer than I have. He's been playing since early 2017. Like, what is going on?
Oh my, dude, the lore. Maybe we can ask him actually about, when he, how he got into, Rando. Maybe, hear a little bit about a 216 podcast preview, maybe, hearing people's backstories.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. All right. So of course, Dante, high reputation. He is, of course, a previous main tournament champion winner, and of course, a previous league season champion. So quite the titan to take down. I believe that we just see a little bit of a stirring from Kermit that he, in order to think that he might have to try and get an edge on Dante. Maybe he needs to, be a little bit more aggressive, perhaps in his routing. And the best way to be aggressive and to save time is to, not open any chests.
Yeah, I mean, if you only open what you need to,
exactly,
it's a lot easier to win. But
yeah, so of course this is Casual Boots, right? We are going to do the escape sequence. You may not actually see the visual sword right now, but trust me, when they go through the bushes, they do have it. I was also going to say, do you think they maybe take a page out of the NMG book of escape area and try and escape to not open the back of the escape chest in order to save a little bit of extra time there?
I mean, you definitely could. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's nice.
We got a master sword already. Yeah.
I can't believe Dante is skimping out on a magic pickup.
Yeah.
That's some high-level greed right there.
Yeah, and especially since we've got, 2 different tournaments, I think, at least, right? From basically some version of, Casual Boots, right? From SGL. And I think maybe some of the lessons that we learned is that one magic pot seems to be, a really nice sweet spot, right? Just in case maybe you get some powder, in the escape. You can do magic bat. Maybe you pick up a little bit of extra, for a fire rod, medallion, right? These are all really good, nice things to have for magic.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely not required, and sometimes you just get a magic drop from the prize pack or anything from the free pool. So there's plenty of ways the seed can still bail you out, and it's not often that you do need the magic, but sometimes an extra fire rod shot or something for ball and chain guard is really nice to have.
Yeah. But I guess if you're still looking for that coveted 5 or sub 5 escape though, maybe you need to cut every corner that you possibly can, right?
Yeah, I mean, early master sword is definitely a good way to start. So you can definitely cut off a couple extra seconds if you need to.
Yeah, and I'm watching this. So we did, of course, get a hard container out of Link's house, which is also some nice to see in terms of safety. Dante does not have sword beams. Versus Kermit, though, he is going into sword beams here in the ball and chain guard. So maybe Kermit potentially save a little bit more time.
Yeah, okay, so that's still going for the 8 slash. You can get 2 spins off, and that's not bad at all. The ball and chain is a little bit weird with master sword slashes doing the same as fighter sword slashes. So it takes a little bit extra, but yeah, just getting through ball and chain quickly. The one pot 4 slash is definitely a good alternative. That's something that you see energy runners do a lot as well.
Yeah. There's the 1 pot. There's the 2 pot. 2 pot was also very popular during the main tournament of not this year but last year, where it was all standard start. Sometimes you're not always blessed with a sword. Sometimes you gotta maybe work with, let's say, Clan of Berna. And again, every little magic drop helps. So you probably actually want to save some of those burn activations, right? Versus just taking the 2 pots instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so I think so far at the beginning and the front of Escape, so we haven't seen the map yet. We also haven't seen a small key, so I imagine Dark Cross is going to be a vanilla small key, if I was kind of tracking the items correctly.
I'm really bad at keeping track of whether or not I found the map already, so I don't get to judge.
Air, you skip Sank Chest anyway, as part of the 123, regimen. So it's very understandable that it's you don't even need to open that chest to begin with.
Yeah, so I just compensate for it in rando by just opening everything. So
right.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, of course, Neverdeutsch, our awesome tracker, he has done so much. He is very, very much on top of things, be able to easily catch everything that possibly would, have our runners pick up or not. So, very much trust in his abilities.
And Dante staying online for the key dash and then still bailing on it, so that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah, Kermit though, was he lined up for that key dash?
I think he was. I didn't pay enough attention to that one.
Because he also looked like he dash canceled. Oh, he canceled right away, or just right close to the door. So, but that rat though definitely decided to bully him a little bit. Did he get his dash out? All right, let's see in this case if skipping the back of a safe chest would pay off. What, we got some bombs, okay.
I'll take the bombs, I'll take the lamp. Alright, we're just gonna go back. Just go to Aga.
Ari, I was gonna say, is this the scene? Are you death warping right now? You've got 3 bombs.
0% chance.
Kermit does not have the option of bombing himself to death. He could take some damage now and still do 3 bombs, so Dante's got the opportunity. I guess it's not happening, huh?
I bet Dante's like considering it somewhere, and then it's like,
What? No. So, would there be a team meeting out of curiosity if he decided to lay down a bomb or 2? Just asking for a pug.
I think you would be calming on your own at that point.
Yeah. Alright, so we got actually a little bit of extra spending cash as well. Unique 100 rupees out of the Sank chest, which is always cool to see. It looks like our runners are very, very much equipped to go into Kakariko, and maybe we even got bottle vendor money already.
Yeah, this is very comfy. There is still a chance that you could see someone do South Shore first, just in order to maybe get a bottle or a flute. That's like not necessarily a common play, but it's not too rare either. It's somewhere like that some people like. It's something that some people like to do. Just kind of delay CAC a little bit to hope to get, or rather to avoid another second Kakariko trip for just sick kid or flute activation.
Yeah. Also, speaking of, maybe potentially the opposite of rushing Kakariko as soon as we can. So we actually do see that Kermit decided to skip out on checking the lumberjack, which of course Nancy did. This is also one of the best opportunities to go check lumberjack. Because you got boots, you're right up here, you're gonna check Lost Woods, so you're kind of already in the area. It is just a heart container, so that knowledge certainly will not hurt Kermit. If he ever goes back, it's gonna be a little bit of extra time saved, especially here in the early game.
Yeah, it's pretty okay play. I definitely don't mind it. It's a good way to get an early lead, because like especially in casual boots, you'll see runners do that 90% of the time. Just because it is such a good opportunity to do it in between the bonk rocks and the Lost Woods checks.
Yeah. And of course, there are going to be other opportunities in order to go check lumberjack for Kermit if he chooses this, right? Maybe he has to go to the mountain, without the flute. We could be checking Bumper Ledge later on. By the way, Dante is never punished for not picking up the magic escape because he got the tree pull, and get the pull magic. By the way, I hope Nervendeutsch, you know what? I never doubt our tracker because he's already marked everything on Blind Hunt. There was a lot of stuff here.
It's pretty juicy, all things considered. Definitely opens up a lot of the live world. Yeah, of course, there's always a bottle in Kakariko, because why would you ever delay Kakariko? There's just always a bottle here.
Exactly, yeah, and you know what? We also got 10 arrows here on the back of Blind's Hut. I would like to see, let's say, a bow somewhere, in Kakariko as well. Like maybe a sick kid. Chicken Hut, because we got a book, we got a lamp. I feel like we could make our way over to Desert if the fortune smile upon us.
I think you're a little bit too optimistic because it is a pendant. It is a pendant.
I'm holding out hope. Yeah, also, yeah, by the way, so we also have path magic here in the back of the well. Really nice, yeah, really nice. Safety, luxury item, actually could be considered pretty offensive. We don't have any magic items right now, other than that lamp. But I mean, you know, once you pick up the fire rod, right, you can do lots of fast things.
Yeah, the luxury is off the charts. We already have 6 hearts as well. This is
yeah, also good
unbelievable.
Point. Yeah, I did not, realize that. Yeah, we got all these heart containers. You got, yeah. We got a fighter shield so we can go into swamp. I mean, we are, you know, guarded. Yep. Dante also being humanitarian, rescuing the chicken.
Save the animals. It's this one is at the beginning of the run instead of at the end, but. But yeah, Kakariko started off pretty stacked. It kind of simmered down by now. That's usually how it goes because all the items are on the top anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll still see library, race game, and then yeah, we kind of have a decision to make. I still think that the most natural play will just be doing South Shore.
Probably South Shore. Yeah, looks like.
Okay.
Ooh, all right. Okay. So bets already on what you think Turtle Rock's gonna be a pendant or crystal. We have a very convenient and early ice rod.
This kind of puts a damper on your Olamo. Hopes and dreams.
Ari, why did you have to say anything? I could have lived in blissful ignorance until we saw that we never had to touch desert.
Yeah, I mean maybe Dante just really dislikes Ice Rod Lammer. You don't know.
You know, I have seen some runners potentially prefer, you know, have a better results performance with the bow versus the Ice Rod.
So
Ice Rod only has a little bit of symptom time.
Dante managed to save a little bit of time over Kermit by just checking race game instead of Kermit doing race game blind. You can see Kermit kind of going for some lower percentage plays right here, just to kind of gain an edge on Dante in some ways. So it kind of looks like Kermit's just trying to skip some often checked stuff that are kind of okay to skip, and then going for blind checks like race game. So yeah, pretty interesting start so far.
Yeah, and of course Kermit, I don't necessarily think he has a reputation per se of being, having a very, creative routing tendencies or anything like that. Certainly he has been known to, he's been up for everything. His teammate Ravis has mentioned on, his podcast episode that Kermit was kind of the ones he, got into, League and Rando to begin with. Basically, he's just anything. Kermit's just up for it. And certainly in the Discord, he's eventually mentioned that he might be a bit more aggressive, especially, he is down 2-0 and he really needs this win in order to keep their team alive.
Yeah, it's go big or go home. So in that sense, definitely makes sense.
Yeah, so speaking of, maybe, we actually going to see Dante paying Agahnim here an early visit. No desert ledge check. But this also maybe is, this also might be a hedge, especially, maybe this is also influenced by Dante being, kind of the flip side of the series ahead. By the way, we also found a lot of stuff here in Mini Molder Cave.
Yeah, we're pretty rich. We found a moon pearl. That's, I mean, are the wizard senses tingling right now?
I mean, yeah, I don't remember actually who said this. Maybe this is a more common sentiment shared. We do not like to try to rush Aga without that moon pearl. Not really much stuff to do, but now, yeah, you mentioned we've got the moon pearl. We are also very, very close to that 500.
Yeah, that's another thing that might be a reason why Dante is doing Desert first. Maybe kind of hedge for 1 or 2 rupee drops here and there, just to make sure that you can get the Zora money and still have some leftovers for potential pawn play after Ag. Those are kind of things that you try to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
Early dark world. Or early dark world.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, this is certainly could be something, oh my gosh, well, that look at that payout in Pendant Desert. We have a mirror already.
That's not a glove, though.
It is. It is not a glove. Okay. Like even practically speaking, if you do find a glove, are you actually clearing out Pendant Desert at this point?
No.
Also, another dash to my hopes and dreams. Only salt, no vinegar.
Yeah, that's a pretty big find. The way the seed is looking so far, I think it's hard to say that there's like a definite lead and that Kermit will never go to Pendant Desert. Like, before Dark World Access, I think that everybody will check everything. Especially with the early book. Like, sure, people don't really like to trust in early books, but I think it's a fair play to check.
Yeah, and of course we do know, of course, in order to get that mirror, and we don't necessarily know if Swamp is a pendant or a crystal yet. So it could be that the mirror is not hard required, but of course with the mirror for where it is, though, we definitely need the book in order to get it.
Okay. Well,
so close to that root, to the hammer being on Zora, but also so close for Kermit to being at Zora money. Oh my gosh, coming here with 495.
Like, I don't know if we've seen the rupee price spec yet, so maybe the Zoras drop rupees.
Yeah, looks like he's potentially trying to farm a Kermit. Okay, alright, Kermit is. Looks like he at least wants the blue mail. He's kind of here.
I would have killed at least one Zora just to see what price spec they are.
Yeah,
like if there's a couple that you don't really want to farm, but I think completely isolating Zora here is a tough sell. Now we'll have to see if he goes to Desert or to Saha first.
Yeah, it looks like also Kermit was trying to kill a Zora or two, but sword beams and basically the slingshotting and flinging the Zoras out into the deep water probably did not help his chances. But of course, good news is for Dante is that he does have over 500, so we are going to be able, assuming he goes a similar path. Also, the last bomb, by the way, on Dante's side, we're also going to be able to see what is on Zora.
Current definitely just kind of sticking to his guns, I suppose. Maybe going for that desert play.
Yeah. I mean,
gonna find his mirror.
Right. Yeah. And we just see on Dante's side is that we did see the other item in desert. Quite can't remember what it was. Maybe it was
10 arrows. Okay. Yeah, 10 arrows.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. So looks like barring any type of very late Lost Woods prospects, we are probably not gonna have to. We're probably not gonna see any in the land molars in desert today.
Yeah, it's a little tragic, but I'm sure that we'll get revenge on the worms soon.
Yes, have to go wait for another casual boots here.
Alright, so runners are kind of tracing each other's steps. The one unknown is going to be the Zora check that we're going to see in just a minute. After this, I think the only thing that we really have left is Saha plus Eastern and Aga. So yeah, the big question mark is whether either of the runners if they are going to go into Eastern or not, because you only need a glove. And it's kind of weird, because the amount of Dark World access you get with a hammer versus a glove is very big. Like, with being able to go to Hype Cave and Digging Game, especially with the mirror also being able to check Cave 45 and Bombos tablet, it's pretty tempting to just go for Aga.
Oh, right, yeah.
And you also have the front of Swamp Palace, and that's kind of an interesting decision to make.
Well, if this were another member of Team Hime, I might actually, entertain the thought of diving into Swamp Palace without the hookshot super early as a more probable prospect. But we're on the same team here, so. Things could very well happen. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask. So as you mentioned, we got Saha, got Eastern. Probably the biggest question is if we're gonna go into Eastern. So it sounds like we are gonna do Saha for sure before making the commitment to Aga.
You can be really greedy and just do Aga and then do Saha and just combine everything. But that seems very, very greedy.
Oh, so talk about greedy though. So Dante was able to afford Zora, and he got actually identically priced Fire Shield versus the Curiosity Shop in the Dark World. But talk about being greedy. We don't have pod money actually. So unless something kind of shows up somewhere in terms of cash, Dante also is going to spend a little bit of extra cash getting bombs here as well.
Well, I mean, I said it was greedy, but apparently that Kermit heard it and I was like, you know what? That sounds great. I'm down 2-0. I'm just gonna make plays, and yeah, Saha's not gonna have anything. Right. Saha's not gonna have the glove. He's just gonna have the bow.
Yeah, and then just lures Dante straight into Eastern Palace when there's going to be nothing, and there's going to be an Agahnim anyway. You know, the best way to save time is again just to not go to good places to begin with.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A mushroom, great, always good to see. Unfortunately, Ice Rod does not help on the gold ball and chain guard. We are gonna have to kill them separately. Oh my gosh, this nice bomb prize pack here for the guards as well. Kermit is actually on 0 bombs. Always gonna be pretty happy to see a couple of extra drops here.
Yeah, money is going to be an interesting situation too, right? Because like you said, like Dante is like not as broke as he was a minute ago, but after Zora, there's not that much money. So a direct pot dip after Aga doesn't seem to be quite in the cards.
Right.
So he'll probably go to Hype Cave and then onward.
Yeah, actually, and you know, I think we only checked maybe one tree pull. I'm not sure if we checked both of them. That is a potential other option, I think. If Dante is really kind of desperate, of course, you know, for money. Talking about being desperate for money, we actually did take up one pot as well. You know, we could also just nickel and dime our way into pod money actually from Eastern.
I think the tier 2 was blue rupees. The tier 1 was the big magic.
Okay.
Or something like that. Yeah. So that's a interesting decision. I still think that Hype Cave and on is a slightly better decision.
than
going straight into pod.
And the good news, of course, for Dante is that we do have dig game money, so we are going to be able to afford at least something if we get no more rupees for the rest of his time here. Kermit's actually having a fairly decent Aga Tower here, and no boomerang, unfortunately. You know, it's so used to kind of seeing like the kind of traditional more circle of pass execution with the boomerang, but unfortunately that was not available to us here in the Light World.
Absolutely tragic.
It is. Dante also being nice and creative, actually using the Ice Rod to kill Stalfos. Very cool to see. Can you also use Fire Rod as well?
Yeah.
But not often seen here, even in Rando.
Yeah, Ice Rod definitely very weird item, very underutilized. The fact that you can only use it on very specific guards and enemies, like they freeze green guards, they kill blue guards, they don't do anything on others. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's right. It's almost like you want to try and remember things by like general, you know, like rules of thumb or guidelines. No, it's just you just straight up memorization at this point. It's just rote. Kind of wish Kermit stayed a little bit longer on the teleportation screen because that music was really good.
Yeah, I mean DKC music is just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Such a great soundtrack. Alright, last item coming up for Dante here. Well, we're getting a lot of blue balls probably during Aga on Kermit's side, so there's nothing to see there.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the good news for Dante is that we just see the big key, it is no location, so we are gonna have to make that trek, you know, regardless if we have the key of Maria.
Okay, and Dante's gonna grab the rupees now. This is interesting. Right. I don't know if it actually is going to matter. It really depends on where the bow is. Like if the bow is behind Kane, it's huge. If the bow is just in Hype Cave, it's not gonna be as huge.
I was kind of hoping it would be an Ice Palace, honestly, but as you pointed out, we have 0 gloves, not even 1, let alone 2. So you know, an early Ice Palace dive here probably isn't really in the cards for us.
Yeah, like depending.
Oh, by the way, yeah, I forgot. We forgot all along that Dante did pick up the mushroom. I saw that. I was like, he's definitely going to Aga now, right? No, we have one more. We have one more errand we need to go on.
I don't know how much Dante wants to double down on this mushroom, but he could have fake powdered as well.
Excellent point. Did we save and quit?
Yeah, we saved and quit after.
Okay, so he has this opportunity then.
Well.
All right, well, and we're gonna keep that mushroom. By the way, did you say something about a lot of blue balls? I wasn't counting, but we talked for so long, and Kermit was still fighting.
Alright. Big thanks to Dante for keeping us occupied while Kermit was doing Aga Tower. Now we're gonna focus on Kermit while Dante's climbing Aga Tower. Okay, we see the other cane, so after Dante finishes up Aga and grabs that blue cane, we'll be able to mark that off on our bingo board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, both kinds of the same color. Oh, we got a quick map check. 5-6 at Pod and Turtle Rock. So we are gonna need that ice rod, but that's Skull Woods, that pesky pendant.
We're also gonna need that cane. I guess that's somewhat important. But yeah, pendant, green pendant mire. So we might not see that flute. And of course, and then Skullwoods, but we're gonna dive that anyway, right?
Like, well, you know, so for Kermit, I guess, you know what, for Kermit and Dandy, because he's climbing Aga Tower, I have heard that there is at least some amount of consensus that if it is an Aga seed, then you know diving Skullwoods is okay. Since you're kind of like already maybe, you know, going towards that area.
Okay.
We will see, though. We will see.
Kermit actually going for the play that I was semi-considering, just doing Saha post Aga. Yeah, I think this is like one of the rare scenarios where I would not immediately dive pod. Like I don't like isolating pod when you have the opportunity to hookshot over. But with Hype Cave being so close, this seems so
yeah. That's also true, because like Hype Cave also is just 5, you know, relatively quick items, right? You know, let's say you find a bow there, right? Let's say you find a hookshot there. And you can really find a lot of good things in order to kind of help make your pod dive and Eastern combination, you know, much more palatable or much more lucrative for that matter.
Yeah. Also big chance. Okay, well we do get an immediate small key.
Okay, alright, so not bow locked. Of course, we did see on Dandy's side that there was no bow in Eastern Palace, unfortunately. It was, but the big chest though was something also just as valuable, Canis Maria. So you know, maybe Kermit will just find the bow here, and then he's just gonna be able to clear out Pod and Eastern in one go.
That seems pretty typical. Not going to lie.
Yeah, but I mean, so far, all of the skips, intentional or not, that Kermit has done. You know, for example, he did isolate Zora. He hasn't checked Lumberjack yet. All these kind of like little time saves that probably the earlier call to do Aga versus Eastern Palace and Saha area first. You know, these things haven't punished him yet, and in fact, they're actually, you know, we're kind of actually seeing that, you know, he is making a little bit further progress, at least here in the early to mid game versus Dante.
Yeah, definitely. Like we still have a little bit of a question mark regarding that fake powder that we could potentially see at some point when Dante heads over to finish Valcast or something. That's definitely like another low percentage thing. Yeah, this pot dip is probably going to be the big variable of the seed so far. Like if there's going to be a bow in here, then it could be a while before Dante comes over here. Of course, it's probably just going to be Hype Cave to Digging Game for Dante and then on his way to pod. I don't think he'll do the swamp before Bolus pod.
Yeah, that is... I'm right. We do have the hammer for what it's worth, so we can get more than just the one item. But as you just say, that as unpalatable, if you don't have the hammer, you get the first chest. It potentially could be even worse if you do have the hammer, because if you don't have the hook shot, right? Because, oh man, have you ever tried to do left side swamp without the hook shot? It is... There is a reason why we want to go fast, and Swamp Palace is not a place to do that.
I think I've done left side swamp without a hook shot.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's also a good point. But have you had to get both chests, Ari?
Okay. Once or twice.
Oh, okay.
So pod actually seems to be empty, and
we're not even going into Eastern. We are
also I didn't count the items, but he did leave vanilla big key chest and right side. So we only saw the big key in the front, so there is still an item in there, and I don't think we found... I don't think there's both map and compass left. If there is, then it's both like map and compass in the front and on Helma, but I don't know. I think there's still an item in there that could potentially be in the vanilla big key chest.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and I believe Kermit. Oh man, what was in his bottle? It was just an empty bottle. He didn't have a chance in order to get any type of like potion or ferret. You know what? Speaking of Hype Cave, giving you some opportunity to make the pod a bit more palatable. Oh my gosh, Ari!
So, about that
Right. Okay.
Swamp Palace.
Right. And so about that hype cave. Before Pod, Dancy, you know, even though he does have Pod money, he is going straight to hype cave. This is going to be a potentially much better this routing decision. It's going to work out for Dancy quite well.
Alright, very nice.
Look at that fighter shield in action, Ari. I'm so proud.
That's why I want a shield.
Exactly,
It's great.
yes.
Shoutouts to shields. Like, one is enough. You don't need 3. You don't need that big bulky thing right in front of you.
No. I mean, we need to be able to see our sprites. You know, dancing. You know, with the 500 rupee purchase of the fire shield, that's also acceptable.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit bling, but like you can't really complain about it. It's really when you kind of like the over glorified. It's kind of when you put like 20 racing stripes on your car. That's when it goes too far.
Interesting. And so dancing actually, I opt to check Bombos tablet first. You had mentioned this actually as one of our very early options here, actually getting to the Dark World the first time, because we got the not often seen combination so early with the book and the mirror and Master Sword for that matter. But just a piece of art today, so nothing too significant.
I think it's a fine check to do first. It doesn't really matter too much if you do it before or after. You're gonna have to do the same trek anyway. There is a potential that you get something like a fire rod or an extra sword in order to make your Argus fight a little bit faster.
Yeah, and maybe Dancy, wants to after Swamp Palace, right? Just kind of continue on to like Stumpy, K45. Again, you mentioned, maybe not necessarily too much overlap, but also could just be like a memory thing. Like, okay, after this, I'm just gonna go do this, and then if you forget Bombos tablet, it is kind of too late.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we have our complete Dark World access now. Of course, we're still going to be looking for the myths, but just being able to go to the village of Outcast the normal way, it's definitely very nice.
Oh yeah. I mean that early hammer. I mean, we've seen so many myths access Dark World seeds, and you know what? As much as I like seeing those shoutcasts, over and over, 10 times in a row in order to get somewhere, in South Dark World, it is just much nicer with a hammer.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we have a vanilla map and compass and small key so far in Swamp Palace. Hopefully, we're gonna get some actual items this time around. We're going straight to the back on Kermit's side.
Yeah, I mean, it's not unsurprising. If you already get map and compass, I would probably just dive left side. That's like one of the rare cases where I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna full clear it, no matter what. But yeah, in Kermit's case, you can't really blame him. He said, I'm gonna skip everything today. So he's gonna skip everything today. So yeah, there's nothing you can say. It's the way he's gonna play the game today, and yeah, we'll have to see how everything pans out. He's not going to go for diver down. Kind of makes sense. He only has 3 bombs. I'm not sure how concerned he is about everything.
Yeah. Also, this is going to be one of those layouts though, where if you dive left side first, right, and there happens to be an item here in the big chest, then Cody's going to have a better advantage with that big key coming back in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Alright, so Dancy's also got his map and compass. Let's see in this case if he decides to do anything different than Kermit other than, so it looks like he's gonna dive left side.
Yeah, for Dancy it's also a lot more comfortable with Kane.
Oh, also good point, right, because we need to go into Eastern Palace and of course getting that very nicely coveted Canis Maria. This is of course a nice reminder of this is not Randomizer, regular, evergreen, casual boots, regular enemies don't have to worry about any type of, you flood the key. You are almost still going to be able to guarantee your opportunity to dive down, regardless of the situation.
That's how you do it, at end.
Yeah. Okay, so Kermit's on his Argus fight. Master Sword is not always the the most convenient thing to use. Game intended level of offense. With the level 2 sword here, to see that he's trying to do spins versus the normal 2 slashes, because unfortunately these puffs do take more than 1 slash for the Master Sword. Which is another reason why we always want to come here with at least tempered.
And you also have to admit that every single Master Sword fight is just awful to begin with, so we really can't blame these runners for having issues with this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Actually, so Master Sword versus Fighter Sword Argus, is Master Sword significantly better? Or if you have Fighter Sword, you can only get the Masters, just you may as well just come in here.
Master's a little bit more comfortable, but there's not a huge difference. Okay, with that mitts, I definitely don't think that Kermit's gonna go back in.
Yeah. We also did see on Dante's side it was two items. You know, we did know that, but it was very useless, like piece of heart and something I already forgot.
Yeah, free bombs, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so right, like Kermit's skip so far. Yeah, as you said, predicted. Kermit's not gonna go in with those, not gonna go back with those mitts, and you know, it's certainly working out for him so far.
Like, something deep inside me definitely hopes that there's going to be something in the big chest now, but it's not gonna happen. Like those mitts are just open up too much, and the entirety of Death Mountain is open now.
Also, a good point, and you know, and because we still saw that Meyer is a pendant, we may not actually even see the flute, so definitely gonna have to go up like the mountain the regular way. Oh, Dante! Interesting. Getting the big key here, he's gonna immediately go back. Certainly very different playstyle. You know, oh no. Oh, nice! He avoided the stair glitch.
Alright, put your drum rolls in chat, and... Aww.
Just 20 rupees.
Alright, Kermit just gaining all the time. Yeah, it's like... Dante's not out of it by any means. There's still so much left of the seed, but...
Oh, 100%. I mean, you know, right now, like, Kermit, you know, the stuff that he skipped, just because he has been, you know, just so much more, I would say, sparse in his, you know, locations, versus Dante, he has been, I would say, very thorough. He is gaining, you know, a little bit of time, like, incrementally over Dante. However, you know, we certainly have seen many upgrades kind of decided, you know, very towards, like, the end game, we're kind of searching for that one last item. We already do have our ice rod, but there's another medallion we potentially need as well.
I mean, I'm ready for Dante to go into Ice Palace after this, so I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent point.
It's not dependent, so it's not confirmed to have anything. Former teammate Falane would have like jumped at the opportunity if it were pendant eyes. Like right now, he's probably just kind of considering it. But of course, we have the entirety of Village of Outcasts, Smith Chain, Hammer Pegs, like everything in there is looking super juicy as well. So it makes sense that Kermit's headed straight there. Like he doesn't have the extra incentive of already having Cane of Samaria for the fast ice balance here.
Right. Yeah, I was also even thinking too, Dante, the fact that he did Bombos Tablet early, he doesn't have to make a decision now, right? About, you know, running over to, you know, do I do Bombos Tablet now and then run back to do Ice Palette? It is so easy to just run straight right now.
Also, very nice phase 2 on Dante's side, being able to get the triple ice rod into the spin. Saving a little bit of time over Kermit's boss fight right there. So I think that if Pod is go-modable, that Dante will actually gain a little bit of time over Kermit, considering like which double dip, because Eastern Big was in a vanilla big key chest, which means that you're going to full clear the entirety of Eastern. Like aside from the fact that Kermit needs to find Kane still.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna point this out, right? So Dante, of course, you know, he's here with the Cane of Samaria, which, of course, I guess in the near future, that means that he is able to at least check magic bat if he so chooses to take Pouting, though. We do have quite a big bar of magic and not a lot of magic consumption items to use. But the more important thing is that he has the Cane of Samaria from dipping into Eastern, because the Kermit did not decide to go in. And without a bow, depending on where that bow is, Kermit may not actually go in for quite some time, which, of course, we know that is, you know, needed for Turtle Rock. And of course, very nice to have, you know, for Ice Palace, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure what happened on Kermit's side, but there was something related to Smith Chain on Purple Chest.
Right, so he turned into Smith, he got nothing, and then he threw a bomb at the purple chest and then just left.
That's reasonable. I can feel that. Okay.
We have the next piece that we need for Turtle Rock. Speaking of, we do have pick up our fire rod. Now, of course, okay, so Ari, does this incentivize you now to go into Skullwoods?
No.
Or does this further push you into Ice Palace?
Like, I think, yeah,
or
I
up
think
the mountain,
you would do
for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, Mountain has so many items, and there is a 33% chance that we can go into Turtle Rock and full clear it. If you're
Wait.
Dante.
Okay, if we're Dan. So wait. I could have sworn. Did Kermit really not check the Smith? He just literally just like turn and not actually talk to him. Oh dear.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna see what time save was worth this one item that Dante I'm sure is actually gonna talk to the Smith for.
Sword.
Oh my gosh. It was very much deliberate. All right. Well, thank you for that update. Maybe I just imagine him, doing this.
Sword.
Did you say you were unbiased by chance, Ari?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, so close.
Like, person-wise, I'm definitely unbiased, but if you're gonna make plays like that, I'm definitely going to root against it.
Okay, no purple chest so far for Xanthi either, or at least a slight delay. We're gonna go into Thebes maybe? Village Outcast stuff first? Maybe purple chest might be just like a parting action item, before he leaves the area. We've already came from the south, so we're probably not gonna walk the chest back down to the locksmith.
It's kind of difficult. Because you kind of isolate everything in this region now. Like, you only have Skullwoods. Maybe you have like Bumper Ledge, Graveyard Ledge, but those aren't really things you want to combine with Purple Chest because you can't really enter those caves with the Purple Chest in tow. I can see just isolating it, to be fair, because you have so much open. You can just go into Ice Palace, you can go all full clear Dark Death Mountain, or all Death Mountain. You have Hera, you have potentially Terrora. I can see waiting for another medallion before heading up there, but at this point there's so many items up there, and it's so likely to just have a bow.
Yeah. So question: if you decide, after Thieves Town, you go north. Question number one is: do you do Skull Woods, or at least the front, part of the front of it? Question number two is: do you also do Graveyard Ledge?
I don't know. I think at this point you just kind of finish up through and then kind of fail. I think at some point you have to start being a bit more aggressive. Like Dante has been full clearing the entire seat so far, and I think at some point it has to stop. Okay, well that's really good for Kermit.
That is a bow, a very important item for Kermit. As you said, it is very good for Kermit, just because that is going to be his thing that will let him full clear out Pod and Eastern, which means he is most likely gonna get Canis Maria before the mountain.
Yeah, and it is once Dante gets the bow and gets the fire rod out of chest game, that might potentially be Gomo.
Oh, right. Excellent point. Yeah. Right. We don't know the medallion for Turtle Rock. We have not actually been up there. We have no need to go to the mountain just yet. But very excellent point. And that we have a bow, we got a fire rod. We just need our entry to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, if it's Bombos, it's such a hard question now. Do you just clear all the dungeons?
Yeah,
the sword too.
Oh wow! So we're gonna be very super comfortable for the rest of the season. Yeah, I was just gonna ask this, Ari. So okay, so one is, do you full clear the dungeons? Do you go mow the dungeons? Do you go to Dark Death Mountain immediately just to check Turtle Rock and see if you've got Bombos? Do you open chests along the way? So how aggressive now are you gonna be?
Yep, that's a great question. I don't have the answer. I think with how conservative Dante has been so far, I can see just wanting to gain as much time in Go mode as possible, knowing that you already have the cane. But on the other hand, maybe you just need to hope that the medallion, that it's not Bombos, and that the medallion is somewhat out of the way, and hope that your opponent is going to be super aggressive in his Go mode.
Yeah, and I guess early on, pre-game, right? It was somewhat more known that Kermit's strategy was going to be basically just much more aggressive, right? In terms of skipping things. So maybe Dante is kind of playing to counter that.
Yeah, very possible. But it's going to be really close between the two. Dan's finishing up Thieves Town, we'll probably just do chess game after, and then I think he'll just snap, save, and quit and go to Pod Eastern. Or go up the mountain. Which one of the two he does? Like, I can't see one just wanting the information. I think that's not too unreasonable. But it also sets you up for an awkward choice if it's not Bombos. But do you just full clear the mountain then, or do you go back to all the dungeons and then do the mountain? So maybe just going for the dungeons makes more sense. Yeah. So there's a lot of questions here.
And and we talk about actually the mountain. I mean, it is it is so item dense. It is still surprisingly a long time to actually full clear out the entire thing, right? The information could be useful, but there's kind of like not necessarily an extra tax per se, but once you get the information, you don't want to come back, I guess, right? In order to try and like look for more items. So it's kind of it's a lot of uncertainty right now for, I would say, for both Kermit and Dante, for how aggressive or not aggressive they want to be.
Okay. So, Dante, what do you do after C happens?
Yeah, because, and again, keep in mind also, there is no flute, or at least we haven't found it yet. I'm not even sure how much it's going to be worth just kind of activating at this point as well. Overworld travel is also going to add up in terms of time. Right? Dante looks like at least, we can't just, flute quickly back to 4, flute quickly back up to 1, or flute into 8, like all the stuff, just all the travel.
Bumper ledge and then climbing, probably. I think he's just going to check TR now.
Alright, nothing on bumper ledge, so no cape needed, at least for today. Yeah, but looks like this is definitely going to be the climb.
I don't think this is an awful decision. It's definitely a bit conservative in a way, but is it really though? It's just such a hard decision to make.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, think about like the mental energy and the mental toll that you're gonna experience for the next 30 minutes basically, for whether or not, should I do this, should I have done this? Second guessing yourself is extremely taxing. Even though both of these drones have very much endurance, played a lot of tournament matches in the past, you do not want to be in a situation where you lose focus because you lose the energy, towards the end of the game.
Nice boots, by the way, on the old man.
Oh yeah. glad people, rescued this guy first. Alright, so did Kermit actually by chance do the Bowlock side? Did he just go straight to Helma? Okay.
He just went straight to Helma, so there's still 2 items in there.
Alright, sounds good.
But yeah, it's Kermit plays today.
Yeah, I think Kermit was trying to do an item dash. Not quite sure if he ended up getting it out, but we're just gonna full clear out Eastern. I think. All right. Meanwhile, Dante straight over Dark Death Mountain. We're gonna get eyes on this Turtle Rock Medallion right now. If he is in go mode, so if you're ready for Team Pugs and the sweep, you want this to be Bombos, and then Dante will just go mow the heck out of every single dungeon at this point. Versus Kermit, he doesn't have the knowledge yet. He might still kind of be in the how aggressive should I be category.
He'll probably just still skip everything.
That's true. That's true.
Alright, drum roll. It is Bombos!
Bombos!
Okay, so Dante is going to be a little bit behind, but he already has the Death Mountain save and quit spot. That's the big difference. That is going to be like kind of a minute like that he already invested. That's worth it. So Dante knows he doesn't need to check anything anymore. Also, the pod big key was just super early. Wait,
yeah, it was on the bridge.
Where are you going? He's going for ice first. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. You can just go into ice first and then go over to eastern area. I guess that's okay. I was a little confused.
Okay. Is there like a routing difference? Because I was thinking maybe he could, after ice, get back in the dark world, just run up. I'm not as familiar with like overworld travel in this particular case. Like maybe he just wants to end his route at Pod Eastern and then save and quit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because then you do pod.
You can do You can do
and then
ice.
The mirror, then do eastern, then save and quit to the mountain. Yeah, that makes sense. That works.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So someone. I mean, I don't imagine Kermit skipping the big chest because he is right here in Eastern Palace. But he very very much needs this Cane Samaria out of this dungeon.
He skipped right side pod. Like you can skip this too.
Oh my gosh. He also is lacking medallion information. I mean, we've already, by the way, you are absolutely correct in that we've seen Kermit do a lot of pretty aggressive things. But at least looks like Sleeping Hinasumari is not going to be today, so that is very good news for Kermit. But again, we still have the uncertainty that Kermit does not know what the medallion is. We are gonna go see Dancy for sure, skip everything in his path because he knows he doesn't need anything else, as you said. Kermit does not have that knowledge.
Dante, I hope you're not like checking everything now, just for silvers.
I was gonna say he got a small key, so can he skip this chest?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's somewhat like it's an okay investment.
Okay. You're basically saving the time to like lift up the rock and like hammer down the peg, right? I assume that's the same. Or I assume it's faster. Yeah.
Okay, Kermit doesn't want any arrows.
I was like, that is, what, talk about aggressive skips. We're talking about skipping chests, but we're also skipping drops. Nice vertical. Yeah.
It's not that much slower than... Okay, well, especially if you get that quick kill, that's very nice.
I definitely like the very, I would say, like rando-centric strategy here. Certainly you don't see you expect like a quick kill with the bow on Armos, but always cool to see burn a kill here.
Okay, so this is going to be a very fast pod, and already having the Eastern Big Key versus Ice Palace.
Yeah, but talk about a fast Colster fight as well on Dandy's side. That was very nicely done. Alright, okay, so yeah, so as you said, so we've got Pod Eastern out of the way for Kermit. We're just gonna trade spots. Kermit's gonna, well, we know that it's the best case for him that he just go Moses' place. We don't necessarily know what he wants to do. Where's Kermit going?
I think it's only going to be... Oh.
Is he checking Zora? Is he getting Zora? Is he is he going
okay.
straight back over to Ice Palace?
Okay. Yeah, maybe just some muscle memory. Maybe I don't know if he was thinking of maybe getting a bottle refill.
Oh, I see. That's why maybe he was scrolling through his bottles to see what he has.
Okay, so by the time that Kermit is done climbing the mountain, I think.
Yeah, it looks like
it'll be like maybe half a minute, or something.
Okay.
Like Dante still it also kind of depends on like key routing, because Dante still needs like a small key because the big key is on the bridge. So like he'll maybe try to hover right side and all that. Oh wow.
Alright.
Well, that definitely increases the chances that he's just gonna go much rest.
Yeah, that certainly does look like it. We have two medallions now going up to the mountain versus just the one. So your chances actually have definitely tipped in your favor. That you're gonna have the requisite medallion to get into Turtle Rock.
Probably like the single best item you could have found.
Yeah. Now, presumably he is still gonna check the vanilla Big Key chest, kind of do something very similar to Dante. He gets a small key and then he gets skip like the one under the rock.
Yeah. Okay, very nice menu.
Yeah, some really nice technique here, on Icebreaker for both Kermit and Dante. There's a reason why they're here in the playoffs, fighting for, Kermit's fighting for his team's livelihood and for tournament life, and Dante, of course, it's Dante. This is not his first, showdown in terms of champion-related tournaments.
Yeah, so just getting this key. He doesn't want to risk failing a couple times. Makes sense.
Yeah, fair. And of course, right, and if your estimate, kind of keeps in touch, by the time maybe let's just say half a minute difference in terms of separating Kermit versus Dante. There's
I'll be a bit more now.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's still we still have to go find the GT Big Key, right? There have been times where the GT routing has definitely made a difference, even specifically for both Kermit and Dante, personally. So. Lots of things are still very much up in the air.
Yeah, there's not that much left of the game though. It's really just 2 crystals left after they're done with Ice and Poly Eastern respectively. So it's gonna be a tough call for Dante to make up that amount of time. So yeah, might be up to GT routing. Like they're both in a pretty comfortable spot with like equipment, like tempered sword, 10 parts give or take, blue mill. So
yeah, it certainly looks very comfortable. I mean, like, do you imagine any of them kind of like checking some extra chests, maybe for silvers? We did actually see that Kermit, at least for the time being, he did open a couple of extra checks in Ice Palace. Every check, in the chest is like the 3 extra seconds. Where are we going? Oh, we're going up the mountain. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is a slick routing.
Yeah, I like the overworld travel here. Lots of actually really nice NMG route here as well. Being able to get up here. I think you also see more of this in, also like other modes like cross keys, but also inverted. The flute doesn't work in inverted in the light world, so you really kind of try and learn how to get around the light world, just basically using the existing resources or portals that you have.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, definitely looks like it's gonna be more like a minute and a half. That's quite the lead that Kermit has, so it could definitely be some GT routing differences that are coming up, but otherwise that amount of time is very, very hard to catch up on.
It is certainly a bit more of a gap, maybe, but so runners are not, of course, impervious even on this type of equipment. We have seen some suboptimal, potentially end game execution. No, and certainly do not want to curse anybody, right? For this, torch glitch, missing torch glitch does happen. Even to the best of runners, they certainly lose some time. We can also potentially check for some extra things, along the way, maybe in Turtle Rock. Again, every little thing ends up mattering.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm expecting something to happen though with these two very established runners is very unlikely because. Like we said at the start, like Kermit has been running since the middle of 2017. Dante has been around for forever. Is double tourney winner.
Well, so the Dead Rocks look like they're on the perfect adulterated Dead Rock squad today. In solidarity with you guys. Alright. Beautiful, yep. Sight for sore eyes on Kermit, so he now knows he's in go mode with that Bombos medallion open up. Yeah, and as you observed very early on, no flute today. So there was we were just dashing around everywhere. Thank goodness for starting boots.
Yeah. Otherwise, the lack of overall movement definitely could be a little bit rough, but. That was pretty straightforward C2. Like, of course, turned out to be ag required, but other than that,
I think we
just kind of seemed to line up.
Yeah, we had to go into early Pendant Desert to go get that mirror, but at least it was early. We got an early book. It was an Agaseed, so probably want to exhaust more of your options, rather than just kind of going directly over, to go defeat the wizard. So both in this case, Kermit and Dante first, of course, got the mirror, and so I think after that, we didn't have to dip Skullwoods. Didn't have to dip Skullwoods at all whatsoever. Couldn't even get close to Meyer because we didn't have the flute. So.
Yeah, so he didn't give you that many options to really deviate from the track. Of course, very fortunate that kind of one item led to the other, right? The hookshot led to the mids. The mids just were like free access to Vu, give you the fire rod and the bow just like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll go to Pod Eastern.
Yeah, and I think in terms of like Pod Eastern, right? So Dante ended up double dipping Eastern, right? Because you basically did like the entirety front, but I think he got to skip all the back of Pod versus Kermit. He single dipped Eastern, but he had to basically do the back of Pod as well. So I don't know how much time difference that is. Maybe it's just a wash at the very end.
Yeah, Dante did a couple of extra things before doing Aga. The mushroom turn-in, for example.
Oh, right, the mushroom, right.
Yeah.
I did remember that.
And yeah, the extra Death Mountain clear, the checking of Turtle Rock. Maybe that was a factor in the end because yeah, the ether made Kermit maybe check less than he otherwise would have. I don't know if that impacted anything.
Yeah, also very good point, right? Yeah, the fact that just having that second medallion, right, just increases like your chances of being able to get into interact just so much more. Not to mention, of course, like kind of like the mental relief, right? It's like, oh, okay, good. I don't have to put myself under, you know, as much stress, basically, to worry about whether or not I'm there. All right, looks like we are gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna go outside. I didn't actually pay attention to where all the rest of the keys were. Did you happen to see if we're safe? Whatever, 97% safe or whatever.
Yeah, we are 97% safe.
Okay.
We have one extra small key, so makes sense. And okay, still chance.
Okay. Nice bow usage, by the way. You don't often get to see that. Usually, you know, I think runners maybe already have like Hina Samaria or something, or if you're lucky, sword beams.
Yeah, Kermit definitely has the arrow lead.
Oh yeah.
That's the one problem with ending with Pod Eastern. It's definitely a little tight on the arrow count after Armos.
Yeah, also good point. Right, and Kermit decided to use Kinaburna to kill Armos as well, because he was very depthly avoiding every single arrow drop, like both in front of him and also in the pots.
And he's safe. Small key right there. So, okay, that needs to be a little bit careful. We don't have a powder. We still do have a blue goo, though, I think.
Kermit for sure has a green and a blue. I think Dancy has the same. If they ended up picking up the same bottles. And for sure, the green goo was in Hype Cave. I did catch that part. Not sure in this case where the blue one came from.
I think the blue was from Waterfall Fairy. Not 100%.
Oh, okay. Alright, so just regular front door strats, you know, for Kermit. We're just gonna steadily defeat Trinex. What? Okay. Was the hitbox not active or something?
I guess.
Not often you get to see that. Alright, Dancy. He's also gonna skip out on the outside, so not necessarily gonna gain any extra time on Kermit. Certainly not gonna lose any time. That's probably the more important part.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, by the way, yeah, Dancy was on 1.5 hearts. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe chomps happened? Is that what happened?
Yeah, there were a couple of chomp instances right there.
Alright. Oh yeah, one other difference, you know, that of course Never Know is already marked on our trackers, is that, you know, Kermit, despite having isolated Zora with only 495 rupees there, he decided to go pick up the blue mail, which is on Zora Ledge. Versus, of course, they both got the other mail from the backup swamp. So Dante is technically still on blue mail, and Kermit's on red mail at this point.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize that there were actually on different mails. Yep. Hera is in fact the last crystal.
That's quite the knowledge, by the way. It's
good to check.
Yeah, at the very end, right before you go in, because that would have been a quite a big time loss if maybe we had realized too late that, let's say, Hera was dependent and desperate for the crystal.
Look at the time save that Dante got by having the mirror shield though. I mean,
perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
Amazing.
All these little things, yeah. I didn't realize that it was actually faster to actually just walk it, you know, with the mirror shield. I guess it's a benefit, so.
And a little. Alright, so very, very easy Molten Fight coming up right here. Nothing's ever gone wrong. nothing ever goes wrong.
Nothing ever goes wrong when you have the hook shot. That is what I've learned.
Alright, well that's 7 crystals, so we'll see what the GT route is going to be, and if it's actually going to make a difference, if it just kind of amplifies the lead we have, if it's going to equalize whatever is going on right now, or if everything just stays the same. But yeah, Kermit has been gaming.
Yeah, every single, maybe not every single one, but the vast majority of his actions today has been certainly very much rewarded.
Yeah, sometimes everything just lines up. I mean, that's rando. It's
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, in fact, this is why. I mean, it is randomized. You cannot control where the items are, and you know, if you end up opening up the right chest or the ones that you're supposed to be, and don't open up the ones that you're not supposed to be, then yeah, you definitely have a very nice time lead. All right, looks like we are gonna go left side first. This could be a, you know, more commonly seen Stalfos room into Compass with a guaranteed small key. It could also be a homage to Ravis, his fellow teammate on Team Hime, which we're just gonna go to directly to Rando room. It could be checking the map chest and then mirroring over. Like we got a lot of options here.
Yeah, the choices are endless.
Yeah.
It could be left side one chest, right side one chest, left side one chest. Like, I mean,
I really want to see that, by the way, to tournament race. I think it'd be quite hilarious.
I don't think that's ever going to happen, but I like the idea.
Alright, so we did see a small key also here in Hope Room, so at least it's not going to be too big of a variance regardless of what, in this case, Dante will eventually decide to do. Of course, you know, the biggest worry is that there is no small key in Hope Room, and so then we have to go all the way left before we go all the way to the right, and the big key, of course, is in Compass Room.
I've not been taking account of the potential time difference, but at this point, I'm just very, very invested in where the big key is. Okay, so much for magic. I think at this point, Kermit is just feeling really, really good. I don't think there's any way that you can feel really bad about how the seed's been going.
Kermit's both. Oh wow, we get silvers out of this. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. So like Kermit himself, he's been playing, I would say, fairly well in terms of execution. Not to mention, of course, his routing decisions have just been certainly much more rewarded than punished in this case.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and yeah, probably similar route for Dante. So kind of make sure that the time difference is very similar. And especially with the silvers, any potential time losses are going to be very, very mitigated. Like, with silvers, the chance of having something happen on Ganon is very small. There's like no weird shenanigans with Lamo 2, like 3 extra cycles or something.
I think also the fact that we also do have half magic plus the lamp, right? I mean, they also do have a green potion, you know, in their back pockets, but in this case, also no real strain for magic management as well.
All right, we're gonna see a tall room.
Would there be a team meeting if Dante does a tile room right now? I'm not sure how, I guess, what type of, you know, state of mind or, you know, where you think maybe in the game you are if you decide to do a tile room.
Either you feel really, really good about your race or really, really bad. Like, if you just hit everything and you just want to mitigate any potential loss, and there it is right there in random.
Oh, and the flute. Nice.
Yeah, just making sure that you can get picked up from Aga too, right? Like, it's very important that you have a flute.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just has to be, everything's in canon, right? You know, we can't have any loose ends here to wonder how the heck we're actually supposed to get to the pyramid. Alright, so yeah, at this point, so Dante's still go hover over Rando room, which is where his big key is. Kermit is starting his climb.
That's part of the game? Oh, that's a pretty cool image 2 strat, actually. Very interesting.
Yeah, I have actually not seen that before. And of course, you know, even though Kermit, you know, has done this, you know, what, hundreds upon thousands probably of times climbing up the gauntlet, I'm not ever sure, and maybe of course can correct me if I'm wrong, like, do the race nerves kind of ever, you know, I don't know, go away?
No! Not really. Like, maybe they're mitigated a little bit. But if you're 0-2 down, and you know that like your team's status in the league is at stake, I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of eyes on this particular race, especially from, you know, 2 sets of eyes, which is your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's kind of a little bit of a done deal right now. Like it's kind of like from the outside, it's kind of like a victory lap for Kermit. Just yeah, did everything right and just gaming out of his mind. So can't really complain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dante's not gonna know about the flute. It's just gonna be buried. That
Okay.
knowledge.
He's gonna be stuck up there at the top of GT.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. I think this is gonna be the reason why. You know, if something does happen, it's gonna be he didn't open the last chest in random.
Yeah, definitely. That's gonna be it.
Now, honestly, like looking at what Dante has done, and of course, I think Dante's been on record on saying he probably never ever feels good, during the race itself, regardless of what has happened. But I mean, even looking back, like he was just probably a little bit more thorough, especially in the earlier game. For example, turning the mushroom before Aga. But I don't really think his actions have, have been, like he hasn't really done anything or like much of the stuff that hasn't led to anything. Right, he's pretty much rushed about a bunch of dungeons. He's done stuff that's on the path, right? I don't know. I mean, I don't think he necessarily would feel like worse than maybe normal, right? It's kind of like one thing to also you're searching for the last thing, for the last like 20 minutes you just don't feel good because your opponent could have found it 10 minutes earlier than you or something.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the Eastern dip. Like, yes, knowing that that you already had the cane is nice, but also knowing, like, somewhere in your heart you'd probably kind of like rationalize skipping Eastern and just going to pod Eastern, finding cane and being like, okay, yeah, sure, Kermit probably just found that and then just go moded everything and realized it was Bombos. Okay.
Well, Moldorm and Dead Rocks are really pulling for your team here, Ari.
Hey! Dante also got Dead Rock.
That is true. Maybe it's like the rats versus mice type of debate, right? One's on one side, one's on the other.
Yeah, still comfy enough lead. He still has like both potions as well. He's nothing to go wrong here. Okay, I'm not gonna say nothing. Because that's never the case, but we don't expect anything.
And Kermit's also on red mail as well, so yeah, and he should be fairly well guarded. So actually, so if Dante had if you happen to know, like, so right, Dante, one of the things that he wanted was knowledge, right, in order to check the Turtle Rock medallion. Do you have an estimate for how long the mountain climb was? Like a minute plus?
Probably around a bit more than a minute. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering in this case of like what the gap is, if Dante had decided to, basically not climb and just, basically go mode all of the dungeons. Kermit, please be careful.
Yeah, if the only difference was like not doing the mountain climb and everything else in the route being the same, then it would be really, really close right now. But I don't think that you do exactly the same thing if you don't know that it's Bombos.
True, yeah. Well, Dante is certainly closing up that gap, right? Taking a first try hover over Moldorm too, even more so because Kermit ended up taking kind of a tumble on that fight. Very, very good on Kermit to also use his potion immediately.
Yeah, definitely. No risk. But Dante definitely tried to minimize like the gap here. But yeah, it was just too much.
Well, we are on still Ganon. Kermit, unfortunately did not get the 1-1, but he did find a very nice corner, to nestle against.
Yeah, definitely the best spot to be in phase 2.
We're just gonna spam that hook shot because hook shot does of course give us iframes as well.
Excellent music choice as well for the Ganon fight.
Yeah, apparently Dante and Kermit use the same MSU, TKC trilogy, always approved here. Alright, we did get through phases 1 and 2 on Kermit's side. Phase 3 is just going through the motions, just like the number of Agahnim balls is going to be the same for both Dante and Kermit. And Kermit's most important job right now is to not fall.
Yeah, that would definitely be a shame, but just one more arrow left. There we go. Now there's just one thing left for Kermit to do.
It's to not fall.
Yeah,
These are both very important things. Dante also, by the way, needs to not die on this. He did a tremendous job, though, basically closing in on this gap. Like, they're basically one Ganon fight apart, right? Versus, like, the basically all of GT. But get your G's in chat. For Kermit and Team Hime, he has squeaked out the win over Dante in casual boost. He will force a Game 4 and keep his team alive here in this playoff series.
Folks are sweating right now. I know I am.
So I was actually just gonna ask you, Ari. So like because there's in this case a Game 4, are you up for your team?
Yeah, I think we just need to have a very big team meeting in a little bit and see what we're gonna do for the next potential 2 games.
All right, that sounds good. So we actually here are joined by today's winner, Kermit. Although one sec, Kermit, because Dante has just finished up his Ganon fight as well. So get your G's on chat for Dante gonna cross his finish line, get 2nd place, and then we're gonna both look forward to hopefully talking with both of you and chat about Game 4 prospects. Although we can say hello to you now, Kermit. Hello, GG's guys. GG's.
Hello.
All right, Kermit. You are right at the high of victory. Congratulations. Tell us about what your strategy was going in today to face off Dante.
Well, I was thinking about not skipping any chest at all, but I don't know. Somewhere down the race, I decided against that and just started skipping.
What, didn't you write in Discord like I'm going to skip everything? Isn't
yeah. Probably reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I cannot believe this actually worked out so well. I mean, I do skip a lot, right? But it was pretty crazy, this seed, so I'm really glad it worked out. And I'm actually super surprised it was that close. I thought I'd win by like 5 to 10 minutes, honestly, but yeah, that just shows how good Dante is, and yeah, my need to skip things in this race. So yeah, I'm glad I could actually win it.
We're joined with Dante as well, so GG's.
Yo, Dante, GG's.
Yo, thanks. GG's, Kermit.
Yo, GG.
Yeah, very, very exciting race to watch from the outside. I can imagine both of you felt pretty good about the route. Yeah, just some couple small differences. That's playing a little bit more far throughout the seed, but yeah, it was. You were definitely making it close towards the end, and you were trying your hardest to make that gap a lot smaller.
Yeah, man, I think Fire Rod, where it was, I guess given the time difference here, really hurt. I was thinking like through Thieves Town once Bo showed up, I was like, all right, I need Fire Rod to be on the mountain, because I was hoping maybe he didn't do Eastern, and I was hoping that somehow like there would be like more incentive to check things further out. I felt really bad about Left Side Swamp and the big chest in Swamp, just because I was like, I almost want, banking on what he had put in Discord, I was like, he probably didn't do this, but if I skip it, it's going to be progression, so I'm not going to do that. not at this early stage of the race. But yeah, I felt like overall though, I felt like my decision making was good. I felt like I played good. But just the way she goes. So Game 4 should be exciting. I don't know what we're gonna do yet.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna ask about Game 4. So I did hear murmurings of a potential co-op reference. I would love to see Kermit and Ravis take on.
Oh no, I'm not going to play any entrance modes at all, so I have to play Game 4.
That's what Ravis said about cross keys, and he almost won his cross keys match, right? I'm just saying, things can happen. Just say.
No. Nope. Nope, not at all. I'm going to play Game 4, unfortunately.
What mode are you gonna pick though? You already know
I really don't know. I wish there would have been an easier mode for me, like casual boots or something like that. But I guess I'll pick swordless. I'll tell you tomorrow when I think about it a little bit more, but I'm like 99% sure it's swordless.
I see.
I would have picked Randomizer, honestly, but since Andy picked it in game 3, I don't think I can actually, if I remember the rules correctly.
And we'd have to ask a league admin about that. Hey, league admin, can we
Yeah,
talk about
if only there was one around that we could. Just
If
ask
only
right
I
now.
had our look. If I don't look at our document when I check something, I have no idea off the top of my head. So, I'll look and let you know. Just make some small talk for a minute.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it says you can't pick the mode that was picked in game 3, so yeah. I'm pretty much going with swordless, I think, even though it's gonna be very hard as well, because I'm not comfortable at all at any modes besides the standard ones. But yeah, last year I picked it against Dunker, I think, and I almost won that as well. So I don't know. We will see. I'll try my best to get us another game.
I mean, I don't know how often a reverse sweep happened, but it's definitely possible. Your team is just as stacked. So.
I don't know about that.
It's definitely happened a lot. I say that as being like a former Titans Mitts player that has been part of those said reverse sweeps on multiple occasions. So, but yes, to confirm, Game 4 does not allow pick the same mode of Game 3. So, but yeah, I mean it's rando, so you never know what can happen. I knew today was going to be a really tough matchup, not just because Kermit was saying he was going to skip things, but I mean Kermit's a great player, so.
Oh, you.
By the way,
you are.
Yeah, definitely. Also, I didn't know you've already been playing since like mid 2017. Like, I knew you've been around for a long time, but what?
Yeah, on and off. I don't have as much time anymore, unfortunately, because of work and stuff. But I always enjoy the league with our team, so I'll gladly come back for that at least, and a few letter races.
It's glad to have you around. You're definitely an amazing player, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the coming race then. Yeah, we'll be sure to schedule soon enough.
We gotta talk to Sick Boy and see if he wants to play it, or if I want to play it, or if Ari wants to play it. Because when you're up 2-0, it sounds cocky, but like when you're up 2-0, you don't like plan too hard for a game 4. Like, you know, if it went 1-1, then all right, what are we gonna do for game 4? So we gotta kind of think about that for a bit.
Our plan was to just let me enjoy this race, honestly, and that's why I think I could play the way I played. I don't know if you saw the Smith chain shenanigans. I'm sure if I would have lost the race by a few seconds, my teammates would have killed me. But yeah, it worked out. So
yeah.
What happened with Smith chain?
Oh, I took the Smith with me and I brought him home, but I didn't check his item, and then I threw a bomb at the purple chest and went away.
Oh.
I just hate doing Smith chain.
That's pretty great.
We have confirmed though in chat. Rava says that you are a very valuable princess, so there's no way that you would get kicked off the team if you did something like that.
That's good to know.
Don't incentivize me even more to do stuff like that.
I mean, well, now that the series is 1-2 or 2-1, right? And definitely, it's definitely gonna get a bit more, I would say, excitement, both, on both sides, right? And, as you said, Dante, right? If we hear a series that is 2-0, right? The side that has the winning record probably doesn't feel as much pressure, but now you gotta. You still have the edge, but certainly less than than you had before.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I am gonna get back to work since I kind of took a long lunch hour to do this. But GG's to Kermit again, and thank you guys for commentating, tracking, and everything. GG's again, and we'll see if we can get Game 4 scheduled here real soon.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Any other thoughts from you, Kermit? Maybe before we kind of wrap things up.
I just want to say to every new aspiring rando player, skip sometimes. You don't have to check everything. It can actually win you races, even though it hurts sometimes and you lose big time, but it always feels great if you actually manage to win like this. So, and it's, in my mind, it's way more fun and way more exciting to play like this. So try it out yourself sometimes.
I can't believe you've done this.
I think you've enraged, you've awakened Aries' inner strength here. I'm scared for you guys for Game 4.
Oh, I already achieved what I wanted. I can lose horribly now.
Oh, really? No, great job. Thanks
Oh,
so
yeah,
much
no.
for the
Thanks.
super exciting race.
Yeah, this was really, really good. Yeah, definitely GG's. Yeah, for basically keeping Team Hime, alive, and best of luck for Game 4. I'm very much looking forward to that match. I also want to thank our awesome tracker Nervendeutsch. He has been tracking and commentating, all throughout League. He has been quite the powerhouse. No exceptions today. Everything was marked pristinely on our tracker. Thank you so much. Ari, oh my gosh, so glad that we could actually be on the mic again. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you very much for having me, and
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have another opportunity soon enough.
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And of course, best of luck for your team on Game 4. I don't know. It sounds like things are a little bit maybe up in the air for who's gonna take on Kermit and Swordless, but still whoever is the chosen pug, best of luck. So definitely looking forward to a very exciting Game 4.
Yeah, it should be a great one for sure.
Yeah. Right, so in terms of upcoming matches for today, we actually just have one more on Speaking to right on this channel in about 30 minutes. So maybe go get a drink or something, go get a snack, and then come right back. It'll be Fear Agent versus Homemade Beer in hard map a compass shuffle. I think the first game also in their playoff series, so it should be actually really, really good to watch as well. But until then, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes or so.